All right, look like we live. Uh,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now listen, I don't have DMG's regular thing, but I tell you, we'll give it a second to see, to see if some people come in here. And also, I don't know how this Negro plays music. I've never, never like hosted one of these from the start. So I don't know how this Negro blasts music and that kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with StreamYard too much anyway, because StreamYard be giving it's iffy. It's too iffy sometimes. So we'll,
Yeah.
we'll see how it turns out. But as people pile in, I hope we get at least a small audience to check us out. At least a couple people, right? We will get ignorant. But only ignorant enough. You understand me? You understand me? So so this is a continuation of the dialogue Leandre had with Ben. What's the brother name?
Ben New.
Bennu. Okay, Bennu. So the importance of education, right? And and yeah, so by the way, how you said kids plural, if you don't mind me asking, how many?
Man, I got five boys, man.
Fuck. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
be that much older than me.
No, no, bro, listen. I'm 34. See, well, so
Oh
the
damn, you are
yeah, yeah,
damn.
yeah.
Okay, you are that much older than me. Okay,
Okay,
okay. I
bro,
want
how old are you, man?
I'm 26.
Okay, yeah, 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 yes, yes, yeah. I'm 34. Yeah, I'm 34. I can't really grow a beard. Peace and love. 93 TV. But yeah, I can't really get a beard to come in. So I wish I can get the Rick Ross. I'm saying another Drake or something like that, but it ain't coming in. But yeah, yeah, I'm definitely 34.
Yes, sir. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. My shit patchy. I keep a shadow. Look, I keep a shadow. Look.
Hey, 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 yeah, man. See, because so like I don't know. Seeing that I'm afraid, right? So like the times like when I do let it start popping in, it looks like I'm having Anthony Hamilton. I don't want the Anthony Hamilton, dude. I've said I need the Rick
Stressed.
Ross or the Drake. I just I don't want the patches stuff like that. I don't want to look like none of that. So
Yes, sir.
uh
Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah, man. So yeah, yeah. I got five boys. My boys. Interestingly enough, on the topic, my boys are homeschooled. And in
Okay.
reality, they're in there's a private school homeschool sort of consortium thing where they go there for 2 days a week, and then the other 3 days out of the week, or the other 4 days, depending on I'm sorry, the other 5 days or so, they're instructed by me at home. So they have a
Okay.
wide array of topics stuff like that we cover. So like when they're there, they get the regular traditional stuff. Plus, I get to add other stuff like like I have an 8-year old, I'm saying, who's taking physics, a fun with physics course. It
Cool.
said
That's what's up.
so yeah, so it says beards are already you good, bro. But yeah, so like with that, but they like right here at home, they've had to learn Latin. They're doing Hebrew right now. They'll do Greek after they made some progress in Hebrew. Um,
Okay.
uh, you
Why you
know,
do
uh,
why you do Hebrew before Greek? I feel like Greek a little bit easier, man.
well, that's part of the reason why.
Okay.
That's part of the
Okay.
reason why. And it's because Hebrew is more complicated, and so in the earlier stages of their life and development, I want them to grasp the more difficult concept, and I think that Greek is will come a lot easier. Now Greek, as far as like with the endings of the words, the suffixes of the words in Greek, now that's where like things are like ridiculously confusing because like most everything is either gendered. It's either gendered or neutered, and then and then the same thing changes with the conjugation of the nouns and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
Greek is just like ridiculous, but Hebrew is also gendered. But I feel like Hebrews in some way is a little easier, but in a lot of ways it's much much more difficult. So yeah,
Yeah.
I started in Hebrew mostly because I think when I was doing I did
Now you're talking biblical Hebrew,
yeah
and if you're
yeah
talking biblical Hebrew,
yeah yeah
you
yeah yeah
what
yeah
you're talking about Aramaic. You're talking about what?
yeah yes yes. So they're doing square script Hebrew, right, which is it was a particular form of Hebrew. It follows
Okay.
so you have Paleo Hebrew, which is somebody who is often a regular channel completely he mispronounces, but it's Paleo Hebrew, right, from like the Paleolithic era, right? And so
Yes,
they had a
sir.
different, yeah, so they had a different script of Hebrew. And then after Babylonian captivity, their Hebrew took a certain form to where it would fit inside this little square box. So it's called square script, and so it has the same sort of script as Aramaic, but it's a different language entirely.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
so they do a square script Hebrew. Um, and so we started out, there's some really cool videos like with the alphabet, like the alphabet. There's really cool videos on YouTube, that I taught them with that. I bought Hebrew flashcards, I bought books on Hebrew. So, we can, it describes basically anything that you would find like in a house and stuff like that. And then like I would come home and I would give them commands in Hebrew and get them to follow along and stuff with stuff. But yeah, so that's what they have to do as a regular part of their daily curriculum.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. The furthest I got in Hebrew when I was in my short stint as a Hebrew Israelite, I'm not able to speak it beyond the Shema, right? I can sing the hell out of the Shema, you hear me?
Yeah.
But I was able to take the I was able
Yeah.
to take the verb charts and how certain words are conjugated and break them down. So you give me a biblical text, you give me the chart, I can do that somewhat, right? But I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm familiar with just the complexity of the complexities of the Hebrew language, which is crazy to me. Like my
Yeah.
son right now, I got a 4-year-old. He's
Congratulations.
thank you. He's Spanish and English right now.
Mm-hmm.
He
Oh,
what'd you say?
I said dope.
Yeah, he's fully fluent in Spanish, but that's his mom's Mexican, so that's more of like a, what I mean, one of those things he'd pick up anyway. But I think that's cool though, right? Because that's totally on topic when you go into the education of your 5 boys, right? And we're talking about 5. You're black, so 5 black boys are descendants of a black man or whatever. I don't know, what nationality your wife is, but that's
Yeah.
pretty cool to me that you're teaching 5 black boys and they learning what they have 3 languages.
Well, so they got English obviously, but then there's Latin and Hebrew.
Latin and Hebrew, so they have 3 languages, and it's important that kids are introduced to them as many languages as possible young,
Yeah.
because the way they pick it up is much faster and much easier, and they're like a sponge when it comes to learning languages, especially at younger ages. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if Leandre fell out, but he froze up on me.
Am I back?
Yeah, you back. You good?
Okay.
Yeah, you back. Yeah, you back.
Yeah. I heard everything you were saying. No, but yes, I don't know why it cut out, but yeah. Yes. So that's part of the reason too. So like why I want to start early. So they do that, and then likewise they have to learn instruments. Dr. Umar just hit the dislike button on you, Rocky.
Not Dr. Umar. I'm dead.
But yeah. So like instruments something that they also have to learn to do. But all of these things like learning a language is something that also like is proven to help them learn mathematics. And then too, like one of the really cool things like the language studies have done, as far as like with the brain, like when you think about how many letters can you remember in a particular sequence, right? Like if they gave you an assortment of letters, how many could you remember in a particular sequence?
Mhm.
Well, turns out that people can't remember very many if you just give them letters. However, if you put them in the form of words for whatever reason, we can remember much more letters that way because that's to words. And so this is so my Hebrew professor, he was telling us about this, telling us about the studies, and telling us to look at this stuff, as they were teaching language. And so so we learned like via immersion and stuff. You would go to class and like with Dr. Schultz, Hebrew professor, or Dr. Pam Johnson, she was the Greek professor, and she also teaches Latin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go to their classes and like, you go there and they're only talking to you in this language, in Greek, Hebrew, or Latin, or something like that. So they only talk to you in those languages specifically. They don't talk to you nothing else. They might like break something down to say, okay, so this kind of means this, but it doesn't really mean like in English, like it partly means that, but it really has this other idea. So they might explain a concept like that. But largely what they're doing is they were simply, talking to you in this language. And then they're going to read you stories, and then they're going to act out the stories, or they're going to use the same words from the stories in a different way so you understand the meaning. They're not even going to explain it all the time
That's
in English.
dope. That's
So,
dope.
so for example, like in Hebrew, when we learn Hebrew, you had to learn Hebrew through the book of Jonah. So they basically they'd show you these different words. It would show you these words, and they would just want you just to repeat it back, and you get used to saying it, and you say, okay, so that word right there is Zeus, which is a horse. right? Dog, which is a fish, right? That kind of stuff. And then they're going to show it to you, you know, side by side, that word with something else to tell you to pick it out. Then they come in and then they put a picture to it. And so you're learning it that way, like you would like from a child, like you're just hearing words and then you're seeing how they're used, like the way that the normal way you would teach children. Then you get in class and they're just going to talk to you and expect you to pick up the parts instead of giving you the English equivalent. And then
full language immersion.
Yeah. You're doing full language immersion, like the way you would learn, like from a child. And so, you know, so yes, I've loved, you know, like coming home and talking to my kids. I say, "Kum, lech el," you know, whatever. And you know,
yeah, that's dope. That's dope. You know, one of the you touched on something though when you talk about expression and going to English. I know we not necessarily on topic, but I'm a lover of language, so it is one of my favorite authors, Japanese author. I'm not sure if you know him, Haruki Murakami.
Nope, no idea what that is.
Is it Haruki or Hakuri? Anyway, he wrote it. He was big in like the 90s, before I was born. But one of the big things he found out, because he wrote it, he's Japanese, but he wrote it in English, and because English was a language constraint, he had to write very like much more direct, right?
Yeah.
He had all the adverbs that you'd have to cut out after editing. He couldn't even include those, right? So he developed a unique style of writing in English and then translating it back into Japanese using that kind of same structure. He developed a pretty unique style. So anyway, I think it's just dope. Just the development of languages and the difference of expression will also open you up to a completely new world. I mean, man, it's, you know, one of the biggest faculties in our brain, one of the biggest reasons why we're so successful is the ability to communicate, right? We're hardwired to communicate. We're hardwired to be social.
Hey, and that's a crazy thing too, right? And which was dope. There's a book that I thought it was sitting over here. But it's a book. The book is called How Language Works. Man, listen, man, that is such a dope book. Just because it talks about like that sort of thing, right? So we are these creatures that are hardwired to communicate, right? And so that like ability to learn language, I don't know, I just think it just does stuff to your brain. Also know that what it helps with like logic and mathematics, like learning like different languages, because you notice patterns, right? And able to pick up on patterns and things. So again, it's one of those really useful tools. I think, you know, if you can get your kid to learn another language, even if you don't know the language yourself, download your kid a Duolingo account or something like that, right? And have them sit and go through the languages. Again, it's part of my kids' daily chores. And so we had the one dude who was on here, DMG had the dude, and he was one of the guests on the show. And he kept talking about Hebrew words and stuff like that. And he kept saying that his name ain't Abel, it's Abel and all that kind of stuff like that. And anyway, and then I just pulled out the Hebrew flashcards. I was like, what does this say? Because you talk about like what does this say? And he couldn't take. And then I had both my sons coming here, and I had them just just reading the flashcards. It was a hilarious display of of stupidity. But as a matter of fact, no, that's
so why do you I'm sorry, go into the thing, then I'm gonna ask you. Go
ahead. I thought the flashcards over here, but they ain't.
But I was gonna say, why is it that we've come to a place where we make ourselves like, why do we cap? Right? I'm gonna keep it all the way, why we cap, right? Why do we purport to be something or to have some knowledge that we don't have? Like, what's up with that, yo?
Man, so I'm gonna give you my hypothesis, and I want you to give me yours afterward. But I'm gonna keep it a buck. So I think it's part and parcel of what the experience of what the Negro experience has been in a lot of ways, in that sort of being removed from certain spaces, not having status, and then in a lot of ways still wanting that status. So like as it relates to education, like for example, I went into my professor's office one day, right? Shout out to Dr. Carson. Went to Dr. Carson's office one day, right? And I looked in there, and this dude, he has like 7 degrees. I don't know, something dumb like that, right? He has all these degrees. He has multiple masters. He has a PhD. Something dumb. He has all of these degrees, but he has them just sitting on the floor in his office, right? And I'm in there, and I'm in there, and I'm working on a research project, right? And so he's going over my thesis, my research paper that I'm trying to get published. And I look down on the floor and I see all these things just on the floor, and I'm like, I said, Dr. Carson, why do you have all these degrees on the floor? He's, I don't know, man. It's like quintessential white dude. He said, I've never had to worry about status, so that stuff to me, it really doesn't mean anything. And
Mm,
I think in a lot of ways, what it is,
mm,
so in our community, what we do is we compete with one another, right? And yeah, it could be who got the biggest rims. It could be whatever the stuff is. We really compete for status. And so for some people, it's not the rims, it's not the clothes, not that kind of thing. I think that for some people, what it is you want the status that comes with education because there's prestige that comes with that, there's knowledge comes with that, right? So there's this following, there's the trust from your community and stuff that you get. You want the status that comes with education, even if you haven't put in the work to get it. So you got like, and by the way, I just want to tell you, I was on that call that day. I mean, I was on the live that day. Somebody jumps in here, and I want to run it to hell right off the bat. But so I came up here, and that person is known for having fake PhDs, several fake PhDs, and you petty because you started calling them out on several fake
who,
PhDs.
me?
Yeah, you.
Oh shit! I think I know who you're talking about.
So hey, you so funny. See, but see, and what I think it is like they want the status, and I'm done after this. But listen, they want the status. They want to be like, man, listen, I'm somebody worth listening to. They ain't put in the work, and so they just gonna cap. You like we know niggas from the hood. They would lie on they would.
All the time. They still do it to this day.
Yes. So who said Ali Muhammad? But yeah.
He had he had science misspelled on his on his
Shout out
degree
to
in science. He had the word science misspelled anyway.
Hey, bro. So listen, it's stuff like that, right? Like it was a dude who's on DMG channel just the other day. Doggy Bone was on here talking about he get on here, but this I don't know, this must have been like a month ago or so. He was talking about how he did debate.
Yes, sir.
Look, DMC man, I'm not gonna hold you. Y'all two are probably my favorite contributors on the platform.
Not naked.
Yeah, I think you mean not to take from nobody a cap.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but look, so look, so DMG, he had a dude on here, right? And dude was on there talking about he did debate, and he say, niggas say I was doing it at San Jose State, at San Jose State. And
Already capped.
Yeah, and I say cool. Okay, so what was the course number for San Jose debate? Right now, not everybody gonna do that stuff, right? But if that's their whole program, like, it's a big thing. You're not gonna forget that. So don't just come and talk about you at San Jose State for debate, bro. Because like don't do it. So it's like that. But it's a lot of people back here, bro. They want the status. But go ahead, bro. Tell me your opinion. Why you think they capping, bro?
I don't know.
Read the comment on the screen, bro. This is hilarious.
Yeah, the seats degree. So, I don't know. I think I can understand why you say what you say, because I see it, the feeling that I have sometimes, like for example, at work, right? There are some people in my office with PhDs, damn near half everybody got masters, and everybody else got 4-year degrees, right? And I didn't finish at all. So I go in and I'm picking the brain of the PhD guy, and I also see like the respect and acknowledgement he gets. So right. I can see why it would be capped, right? But yeah. I also see to an extent that niggas want to be the next Malcolm X.
Absolutely.
Niggas want to be the next Marcus Garvey. And I really don't understand that. I guess just the person I am. I'm me. I'm gonna accomplish what I accomplish, but I don't understand the need for trying to say you're something that you're not when we can easily find out. Like when you talking about degrees, bro, like that's nothing to find out, bro.
Bro, listen, but people listen. I'm gonna give you another example. He was nigga who was on his show right here talking about this. He gonna tell me that he's a scholar, and then he says, I have an associate's degree in Africana studies, right? Brother Rocky, how long does an associate's degree typically take?
At least 2 years.
2 years. Okay. Then he said, after he completed his associate's degree, he went back to college for some more years to add some more stuff to his associate's degree. And if you anybody who's ever enrolled in school, you like, what's his name? What is he talking about?
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Because
he
you
just
like
wasted some. He just got some credits. He just ain't finished. You can't add on. It don't work like that.
See now, Rocky. Now listen. Unfortunately, you've been called out for capping, bro. I'm gonna need you to answer for this.
What? Which one?
It says you run your department, bro. You don't just work in the department. You run your department.
Nah, that's my
Kyle
dog.
say,
Hey, look, we just came from the same company party. Look, he just hyping me up. Nah, I'm really regular. You know, it's I do my best every day. I do my best every day.
Hey, St. James, listen, man. He said he added stuff to his 2-year degree, and I'm like, first of all, how you go back and add something to your degree? So you completed your degree, and then what? Like, tell me what they said at the registrar's office. They're going to let you add some stuff to the degree you already completed. I'm dumbfounded. And he went back for some years.
So let's get this out the way, right? So an associate's degree takes 2 years, right? After that, right, you can go for 2 more years and get your bachelor's, right? So when you get your bachelor's, right, you're done with your undergrad. So after that, you go to graduate school, right? Then you finish graduate school. Hopefully you finish it and everything go well. Then you proceed, get your master's, and then from there you go on. And then there's various degrees beyond your master's because you can get a master's in something else, right? But you cannot go to school for 2 years and get an associate's and then go to school for a year and say you added on to your associates. It don't really work like that. You just got some credit. You just wasted some money on a few credits.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. And then the thing about it is that I got it on good authority. Doggy Bone ain't even got the associate's degree that he was talking about. It's just he got caps lock on. I call it caps lock. They just can't stop capping. So that's so it's like it's that, but it's that sort of desire for status, right? It's like Rocky. You remember when Spinners came out?
Yeah, I remember when Spinners
came out. And niggas started copping the velocity rims that you bolted onto the thing up front, and it was like triangular to center, and like it wasn't the same. It didn't have the same motion.
Yeah, it had a little. Hey, hold on. It had a little. It wasn't 20s. It was 15s though.
Hey, yeah.
It had a little motion.
Yeah, so it was mostly people in like Ford Expeditions, like pulling up. You know what I'm saying? And then you got so it's that. This is what a lot of them people. This what they doing. Like you ain't really got like what's needed. It says, somebody says, Lord Ben New says, and it's a question. Rocky, I want to ask a question. What does a degree mean in war? Now, I got an answer after you. Rocky, what you think?
I'm gonna say I think that's a ridiculous question. That's my answer.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say, Brother Ben New. Shout out to Brother Ben New. So one of the things that I think that the military thinks that it means a whole lot. Because if you come in with a degree, they actually give you the position of officer if you have a degree.
That's true.
And that's specifically because they know you know more about a whole wide array and assortment of things. So it's less work to become an officer if you come in with a degree. And that's because they actually value the knowledge, right? So you might be trained in geopolitics or whatever it is, but you're going to have more than what the basic soldier's going to come in who just has his ASVAB test. So it means a whole heck of a lot, right? So like in a war, you might actually be able to ascertain whether or not this is mustard or sarin gas because you've taken some biology or some chemistry courses. You might be able to ascertain whether or not this is good or bad water. So like that knowledge actually means a whole lot in practical situations. You might be somebody like me. Right? And so one of the courses that I took and this is me and Rocky, we were talking before this. There's not one college course. I mean, not one. Theater appreciation, music appreciation, Greek, Hebrew, logic, multiple logic courses, existentialism and phenomenology, law and public policy. Doesn't matter. Contracts. It doesn't matter. There's not one particular class that I took that was not meaningful and didn't change the way I view the world. I have a robust body of knowledge. This is not me gloating about a wide array of topics that actually change the way that I make every particular decision, because that knowledge is consequential. It actually has real world meaning and application. I took a contemporary mathematics class, Lord Ben New. that told me how I can best calculate the route. I know how to do an algorithm off the top of my head with a piece of paper and a pencil that could tell me how to get to multiple stops without ever crossing back the same spot twice. So let's say I got my unit and we out there and I need to figure out how to get to each of these towns and get back in the quickest amount of time. There's actually a mathematical calculation you could do with just ones, twos, and threes, writing on a piece of paper and get your unit in there without crossing back the same pathway twice. There's a way to do that. And so a degree means, I think, a lot in a war. And I think that's why the military values it. And then DMG says, we got to get Kyle versus Slim Reaper. And they say, I don't want no smoke. Kyle, I don't know. I don't know what kind of smoke you're talking, because you look kind of big. If you're talking about fisticuffs, I'm calling the police. Let me see. And then DMG says, so I can add my GED. DMG, no.
It don't work like that. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, brother. But you know, it's what do you say? Lord Benu tied the Slim Reaper in his first ever debate. The brother is coming for the. Hey now, man, DMG, that's you, man.
Now DMG, don't do this to me. In whose army? When I say war, I mean revelation. Rocky, interpret this one for me.
That is interpretable. In whose army? When I say more, I mean war. I mean revelation. He might be speaking to you, talking about because I know you're a Christian, and that may adhere to like your belief of.
Yeah. Whatever you say, Rocky. Brother St. James, appreciate you. Brother St. James, very accomplished. Brother from out here, right here in Fresno. Now watch this. Now you know who we need to get. We need to get Kyle and Ben New to talk. Kyle said, y'all be wanting to have a revolution for stuff you simply have to go and achieve. We don't need that. We need application.
See, a lot of people not gonna like what he says when he explains this right here. But you know what? A lot of people need to listen to stuff that they don't like to hear. Because he is one of those, he is big on, and I think I'm big on it too, on I think it also kind of comes into this education conversation. Like, we as Black people, we have a lot of excuses why we can't do stuff, bro.
Hey, see, Rocky, listen, you about to kick the bucket. And I don't mean kick the bucket like die. I mean, you about to kick the bucket full of hornets, bro, because listen, this is my opinion too. And so and on my page, I did an entire presentation on this topic. Now, I argued that conservatism was the best vehicle for this particular issue because of what conservative, and I'm not talking about Western political parties, but I just mean conservatism as an ideology, because it's inherently, on my view, and y'all are allowed to disagree with this, and Rocky, you can too. It provides the best sort of vehicle for personal accountability, because it sort of assumes that the world is messed up, the world is screwed up, that there's all these evil things that are going on, and that the world is like this. Humans are imperfect, the world's going to be imperfect, made up of imperfect people, so on and so forth. But that you have a responsibility as well, though, to react properly in any given situation. And so I believe, likewise, a revolution is not necessary, because you can simply pick up and do what's necessary. So I would agree, but again, largely because I'm a political conservative. Ben New says we don't have an army. What do you think, Rocky?
I think I don't think we need an army for a revolution. If you want to change something, I think the best thing you can do, Lord Benu, is I think you can change yourself and be a shining star, a glimmer of hope, and showing what can be done once you have proper self-discipline and you've done what you needed to do. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't think we need an army.
This 93 TV says they love to build to Rocky. Rocky is actually very bright and very articulate, cool dude. Now he's funny too, but super funny.
Try to be.
Kyle says I'm not going to war with y'all niggas.
I tell you one thing. If I was going to war, I kind of need Kyle. We need him on the squad. We need him on the team.
Was Kyle? Was he an OLB? Was he a linebacker? You a linebacker?
Nah, he ran. The nigga ran. I know the nigga ran track professionally.
Kyle looked like he can lift a refrigerator right now. And
y'all definitely probably.
Okay, Kyle. Hey, Kyle, bro. Listen, if it go down, bro. I'm in Fresno, California, bro. Pull up, bro. I got every manner of weaponry, bro. Listen, we'll put it together. But But he said he ain't trying to go to war with us. And then so Bennu, he said he meant a revolution. Okay, so
Okay.
then he says, then why haven't we done it? The revolution. Kaya, hypothetically, if we go to war and when our ass will be dead in 2 weeks because nobody can purify water and keep the power grid running. Now, Kyle, now listen, here's the problem though, bro. This is why we're talking right now, because that requires
education.
hey, bro, now listen, now how are we gonna do this, bro, without an understanding? Now, this is why, like I said, we're talking about like what good is a degree in war? I don't know if your degree's in biology, right? Or microbiology, right? Or in
botany,
botany or something like that, right? Like it'd be very, very useful. You in Unitrap, y'all off somewhere in the sticks, and you need to know, like, if the leaves are 3, let it be, right? It's like, hey, listen, if we got 3 points, it's more than likely going to be poisonous, right? And so, like, I don't know, Kyle, it seemed like, you know what I'm saying, you got to talk to Bennu, because this is why I said it might be useful, right? Like, I don't know. If you took a geology course, you might realize, hey, this specific region of whatever this area is, like in Afghanistan, is a desert, and so there's certain kind of plants that are going to be here. Other kind of plants you only find in certain elevations. I don't know, but maybe an education ain't important, Kaya. I don't know. Talk to Bennu. Let me know what y'all come up with. Kaya, you want to smoke on this topic? Is religion good for society? Kaya, I hope you say no. Is religion good for society? I hope you say no. Please say no.
That'd be interesting. I wonder what he say.
Kyle, let me know something. Drop a kite. Okay, so
Okay.
now look. Now, Rocky, how would you respond to this comment? I got a response. How would you respond?
Tell that to Black Wall Street. Oh, you respond first. I respond next.
So I would say that Black Wall Street didn't need a revolution to begin. I would say that that Greenwood area in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was started by people with an education, doctors, lawyers, dentists, professionals of every sort, people who had an education, started that community, got it thriving. Now, was there a great issue that took place 1941 where things were burned down? Absolutely. But the part that people never tell about Black Wall Street is that Black Wall Street was rebuilt in just a couple months, and in less than a year, most of the city was back up and thriving. Why? Because the people there had knowledge of every manner of things, so you couldn't disrupt them. That education, as long as they were living, couldn't be taken from them. And so streets were rebuilt. The whole city was rebuilt. People got back to work. That is not a horror story beyond the race riots. That was a success story. It did have its horrible moments, but that is overall a success story. So I'm actually proud of the people of Black Wall Street for how they rebuilt. But that took knowledge.
Shit, I think that's a good answer. I think we can go to the next.
Okay. So 93 TV says, I guess they meant me. They want to talk to me.
Cool.
They said they know you. Rocky, who is this person? Yeah, Harper, who is this?
93.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my man's. He part of the Dagger Squad.
Says we need to, now this is DMG, we need to adopt Black extensives and Black stoicism. Now listen, now DMG, I agree with you. And I agree with you largely because these are the foundational sort of ideas of conservatism at large. Not the Black versions, but stoicism and existentialism are the foundations of conservatism as a whole. Because this existential idea, right, and what existentialism is, the larger sort of view of existentialism, is that it's this idea that man has experienced an existential thrownness, that against our will and without our consent, we were created and cast into the earth, and with fates that have nothing to do with us. Things that might already be decided for us. But the existentialists ask the question, what can I do with what I've been given? And that's a question that is, I think, really, really important, because it sort of tells you that you have the reins in your life. One existentialist philosopher said we were never more free than when we were slaves. This wasn't a Negro, but this is a Jew who was under German occupation. What he talks about is this idea that in that oppression, in that oppressive system, that gave me options and opportunity to decide how I was going to view the world and how I was going to act, how I was going to behave, how I was going to conduct myself. And in Stoicism is this idea that like you really can't just sit back and be upset by all of these things. Most stuff, let it roll off your back, get back to business. And so I think that both of these are really useful ideas for Black people. And I would also argue, as I have before at a university, before a host of professional philosophers and guests, videos on my page, that this was one of the principal ideas in the successful Black folk. And I talk about people who built entire Black cities, who were conservative thinkers having these sorts of ideas. Their explanation of things were existential and stoic. Again, the first Black city, first all Black city ever begun, 45 minutes away from me here in Fresno. That's Allensworth, California. These were his ideas. He was conservative and existential and stoic. You got anything on that point, Rocky? Before we go to the next comment.
I'm not familiar enough with existentialism or stoicism to make a comment on it. To be honest, so.
Hey, I don't like.
That's
Kyle.
a fact. Now that's a fact.
Hey,
that's a fact.
Kyle, how many are won by Negroes with no GEDs?
That's a fact.
St. James is horrible for society. St. James, you have to tune into the debate. It says they needed an army. I don't know that they needed an army.
What would it? My question to that would be, what would an army have done but cause even bigger catastrophe?
He says they need an army, and he says, "Where's now? Where's what? Black Wall Street? Well, Black Wall Street wasn't destroyed by it wasn't destroyed by the race riots. That community in Greenwood actually still exists today. Now, is it exclusively Black? No, because we had integration." Kaya says he asked Lord Bennu, "You gonna buy bullets from the folks you're at war with?" Oh, okay, buddy.
Yeah, that's.
I see it, and this nigga, this is the Negro right here that I mentioned earlier, who has his who claimed to study debate at San Jose State and couldn't give even a course number. Negroes be lying.
So he studied debate at San Jose State, or he debated at San Jose State?
No, yeah, he said he was a debater at San Jose State.
Okay.
So lying and carrying on, and then went silent, and then admitted that he was lying on the lie. Brother Yasha Ben Israel, brother, a shout out to you. You be coming over talking crazy stuff all the time. Says I'm a Sleeper fan, but I'm no kind of Christian. We believe that. You be on here arguing with me talking crazy though, bro. But listen, man. But shout out to you though. Thank you for watching.
Y'all should be wilding a little bit. It's funny though.
This Lord Benedict says, "Don't educated people know how to make bullets? If the educated class held our best interests, we would have our own weapons factories." Now, I'm gonna say this at the risk of my FBI agent seeing this, Brother Bennu. I ain't even gonna say it. Listen, do this. You understand what I'm trying to say right now? Hey, I ain't gonna say too much. This is Julius. The foundation of any successful society are its thinkers. You don't build a civilization winging it. Hey, Julius, you mean to tell me? I don't know, Rocky. You think can we build a civilization by winging it? What do you think?
Nah, you gonna get that leaning pyramid. You know what I mean? What's that? You gonna get that leaning pyramid.
Okay, let me see. What are your opinions of feminism and how it's been used in media such as music, movies? How's that affect the relationship and dynamics between women and men? Rocky, you're gonna answer this afterward too. But let me say this. Feminism came in multiple waves. I think that at the beginning of feminism, historically, feminism was a sister movement of the Black struggle in the 19th century. Originally, what the feminists wanted was not largely problematic. Now, from a sort of early American standpoint, it was revolutionary in the respect that, according to the founding fathers of this country, had a Roman system of government and voting in a lot of ways, in that you needed to be a property owner and a male property owner in order to participate civilly as far as voting and things like that. So whereas the women came in, the first wave of feminism that came in was devoted to getting no sorts of rights secured for non-property owning women. And as far as like morally, there was no issue with that. Now, it didn't fit the sort of Roman system of government that the founding fathers had in mind. So it was revolutionary in that respect, but that wasn't really a moral issue. Late second and early third wave feminism, however, came with things like evolution, which these things do affect in a lot of ways relationships and the dynamics between men and women. And like sexual revolution is a major one. Um, Lots of people know that there's a landmark book on sexual behavior in the human female. The book is it's a landmark book that's still used in women's studies and things of sex today. One of the things that points out that at least at the time of that writing, that the average woman at that time that they were looking at, depending on social class though, but largely had an average of 4 sexual partners in their entire lifespan. Now, all of us, we know for 100% a fact that most of the women that we know in our community don't have just 4 sexual partners. A lot of women in the 20s, 30s, they done knocked out the whole football team.
What do you say? You got to multiply by 3, ain't it?
Hey, what J. Cole say?
You got to multiply by 3, ain't it?
They got to multiply by 3. So that obviously has an effect on numerous things, pair bonding and things that are your biological chemical response in relationships, the woman's view, how she views a sort of respect, how men view that sort of thing. The book also speaks about the fact that like this was one of the first times sexual revolution that came with second and third wave feminism was one of the first times too that what we saw was this attitude towards loose sexual female behavior. It sort of seemed, historically speaking, men were always able to be a little more sexually liberal than women were. This was one of the first times that women were able to be as sexually liberal, and where a lot of times women are sort of competing. And so feminism came and brought this idea of egalitarianism with respect to sexual activity, too, that I think has sort of backfired. And that's not to say anything about the merits of male loose sexual activity, but I do just want to say that it has definitely changed the dynamic in a lot of ways, because you have far less incentive than I think you would have had before to view women as more than just sex objects when they've sort of admitted to you that they're on the same page as men sexually. And so I think that, like, as far as marriages go, divorce and things, I don't know. I think that it caused a lot of issues. With second and third wave feminism came, I think, especially like in California, when we were the pioneers in California, we're some of the pioneers of divorce laws as they are today, where you didn't used to be able to get a divorce because of you needed proper justification in order to leave the marriage. Courts were concerned with the family as a whole, and that sort of structure, what it would do to the kids. With those second and third wave feminism, and I think that those are really important in changing those sort of laws, seeking the freedom of women in all of these different respects. We now have larger, we have greater disruption of the families, and so I think that, like, feminism at its inception, not really a problem, but I think second and third wave feminism definitely came with lots of problems because they weren't just seeking sort of political equality, but seeking to match men in every aspect, even in the areas where men aren't behaving morally. And so I think they brought in the demoralization of an otherwise, a largely moral class. I don't know. I tend to think women are typically more moral, outside of, I don't know, maybe right now.
Outside of right
now. Here's, he says, science equals action, philosophy equals words. Action speaks louder than words. Now, Mudawa, you have to know absolutely nothing about either science or philosophy to make this sort of statements. Atomic theory, for example, in Mudawa, and I was going to ask this the other day, but you wouldn't shut up and let me ask you the question. If we got into like just something like, I don't know, atom theory or something like that, right? You wouldn't be able to hold your own, even though you talk about scientific literacy. But the original philosophers were the scientists. And I know you don't know this because your San Jose State thing that you were talking about, it's not real. It's just not real. But with an education, as I'm sure Rocky would agree, you can learn things and not make ridiculous statements. Let's see what else we got. Wait. Who got the Skittles knocked out of? What happened?
He said, damn, they knocked the Skittles out of homeboy.
Yeah. See, and Julius has an awesome point. So, like, there is an actual philosophy to all of this stuff, like a philosophy of science. There's a reason, and I know unaccomplished Mudawa has no idea, but there's a reason why the scientist ends up with a PhD in science, which means a doctor of philosophy in science. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why these scientists end up with a philosophy degree. I bet you don't know why, Mudawa. I bet
who's Mudawa?
Mudawa is Little Lucifer.
Oh, that was the brother. we're talking about the. Oh yeah, yeah. I know
Yeah. So I bet you don't know why. Listen, these are philosophy degrees. PhD is philosophy degree.
I was wondering why you didn't explain that on that show.
Hey, listen, hey, bro wouldn't let me. He wouldn't even let me get a word out. Says, as a Christian, how have you interaction with Hebrew Israelites? What kind of apologetics do you implore to combat the attacks on your religion? Okay, so my interaction with them have been absolutely terrible, and here's why. Because I actually had to take Hebrew. I didn't have to. I took Hebrew voluntarily. And that's what I was explaining prior to. I don't know if you were on at this time, 93 TV. As a matter of fact, I think you were. I think you were when the first one's on. But when I come on and I do something like ask someone what such and such means in Hebrew, especially Hebrew, it's like, this is your book. They say it's our book. They say it's our book. They don't want nobody who's the same thing book teaching a book. Cool, it's your book. Explain this to me. Explain to me in your people's language. That goes terrible. If I'm discussing really anything, we could talk about how to interpret it, right? Their interpretation methodology is not going to match what the Hebrew interpretive methodology was historically. And there's a whole host of resources to find out the way Jews interpreted their Bible. Like, how did they, like, before you say the big bait and switch happened, where not only did the Hebrews lose their identity, but a whole other group of people came in and pretended and forgot their identity too, and claiming to be something that they're not. When that thing happened, like the people before that happened, how were they interpreting these texts? And then when you find, hey, they're interpreting these texts the same way and according to the same rules and using the same methods and that kind of stuff as I am, well, then it just goes straight downhill. So I haven't had good interactions with Hebrew Israelites. They typically, get to yell and talking crazy. Completely, if these are their people, they're uninformed of their history. So what I would say is, like one of the things. Oh, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say, man, I think Hebrew Israelites are probably like, they're like pariahs, right? They're like a parasitical insect to the Black community for people seeking education, right? Like YouTube education, right? I think it's one of the most dangerous groups because the rhetoric alone makes you end up hating yourself. And anyway, I just think it's the Hebrew Israelite viewpoint. I just think it's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Yeah. So yes. So here's what I would say. Honestly, and it's not just because we're on topic though. Like honestly and truly, education has been one of the greatest polemics against all of these groups, because you do something like take a class with a classicist, someone who teaches classics, and they make you read things like Greek, writings from Greek historians, or you have to read something like Josephus. And then you realize, okay, so if you're interpreting Deuteronomy 28 and saying that Deuteronomy 28 applies to the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, and then they say, because nobody in the past was taken on ships to Egypt, and you say, wait a second. When I look up antiquities of the Jews, I'm here, it certainly says that Titus and Vespasian, that one of them came over there on a boat. And it was Titus. Titus came on a boat. And Titus took back slaves with him that he sold in the market in Egypt. And you say, I thought you said nobody ever did this before in history. This had to be the transatlantic slave trade. Education really has been one of the greatest tools to combating them. And I haven't had anybody, successfully sort of overcome that, not by any accounts. When you start, reading into stuff. It says, how does science rest on philosophy? Science is the foundation of everything. So here's the deal. All of the original scientists in the West, meaning Turkey in that way, Turkey and west of Turkey, these were philosophers. Atomic theory came from philosophers, Democritus. And again, science itself, modern empirical sciences, cannot prove its own axioms. They believe in things like mathematics. You cannot examine 2 + 2 = 4 or number 2, anything like that, because they're empirical. Modern empirical sciences appeals to the 5 senses. But those things depend on things to already exist, like truth, logic, mathematics, that kind of stuff. It depends on mathematical realism, any number of things. These are philosophical, metaphysical concepts that come from metaphysics, which is a branch of philosophy. All of it depends on philosophy. Like, for example, when most people do science, they're depending on a particular, not just truth, but a particular philosophy of truth. And it's correspondence theory of truth, that what we're going to find is going to correspond to reality. philosophy is the foundation of all of these things. And like ontology is the highest of the philosophical sciences. The highest of the sciences, bar none, are the philosophical sciences. The philosophical sciences, the mathematical sciences, and then the modern empirical sciences. Modern empirical sciences as a whole had their start in, I think, 1621 with Francis Bacon and Rene Descartes. And so, yeah, so which were philosophers, by the way. I don't know if you had a comment on that, Rocky, but I'm just answering the question.
Nah, you good. Everybody should be familiar with Descartes. I think he was like required reading.
Yeah. Descartes is required reading, right?
Reading in like high school, I think.
Yeah. So let's see. You want to take the brother's comment?
The art of war is not just about fighting.
Stop, Rocky. Why you keep laughing, man?
Hence why our educated class is our biggest problem. They have set up no defense for us from our enemies, foreign or domestic. I think our educated class is probably the best hedge against our enemies. I mean,
yeah. Bennu, brother, listen again. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, that's the biggest problem. But you got enemies, foreign and domestic. But the educated people are the biggest problem.
I think it's something different. It's something different with this brother. He had some bad experiences with some educated Black people. I think it is. But I want to say one thing. I want to go into one thing really quickly. I do want to say one thing.
Yes, sir.
So what's interesting, right, while we're talking about these things, what's interesting is when you think about like the average American reading level, and you just look at like some of the questions and you see some of the participants in the show and the topics we talk about, and when you like, the math is not mathing in some of these conversations. You know, the average American reading level is at a 7th to 8th grade level.
Yeah, and then remember, then how much worse does it get when they're Black American?
And yeah, exactly. When you get into the Black community, it's like 5th and 6th grade level on average, bro.
Hey, and I tell you what, Bennu, you tell me how many people the 5th and 6th grade reading level is like these people who ain't read nothing beyond the 5th and 6th grade level. How are they going to defend against a flank? Tell me that. How are they going to treat a chlorine bomb? How are they going to do that? Talk to me.
54% of, they say 54% like between the ages of 16 and 74 years old lack proficiency in literacy, essentially reading below the equivalent of a 6th grade level.
Since you and myself is an example of why Black education is important. Being in the area of logic. Logic is not something inherently given. Being a learned discipline. In college. Now I agree with this 100%. Even though, Yasha, I don't know that you actually know logic, but I am gonna say that this is 100% true, though. Honestly, though, like honestly speaking, it really is something like inherently, like we might have some sort of order to our thought process, and certain syllogisms and concepts that like we can accept them as humans. We don't really know why, except for to say that like we seem to be enamored with a mind that can sort of understand concepts. But in reality, though, logic is an actual discipline. It's a whole discipline, something you have to take, you have to study, and you have to really train yourself to have ordered thinking, critical thinking. These are courses. Rocky, my line, are these not courses you take it? You got to take courses that are specific critical thinking courses. Am I lying?
No, that's facts. That's facts.
It's just a fact. And he says, and look at this one here. Stick to religion, aka philosophy. Actually, no, this ain't these ain't the same categories of things. These are completely different, distinct areas of study. Brother Mudawa, Little Lucifer.
And I think this is a good conversation too, because you got two people from like polar opposite ends of the spectrum when you say stick to religion. Like I know it's a little something probably more personal when it comes to y'all and y'all conversation, but like I'm an atheist. You know what I mean? So it's interesting the comments.
Hey, you need to stick to religion, Rocky. See, that's why I like it. You can't hit with Silas, bro. You can't talk. And he says Israelites today are cultish. I agree.
Facts.
Yasha, do you believe that Hebrew Israelite logic is sound? Yasha, can you answer that? David Jackson says it's because they have a philosophy of science doesn't point to philosophy being the foundation of science. No. Well, I wasn't saying that. I don't know who you're talking to, but that couldn't have been to me. I'm telling you that philosophy is the foundation of science. I told you the sort of concepts that philosophy depends upon that philosophy cannot itself prove. Science cannot prove its own axioms. The axioms in science cannot be proven via the five senses, which is what modern empirical science appeals to. They cannot be proven via the modern empirical scientific method. That is a fact. If you think that they can, schedule a time with me and I will get you to do so. Bring your microscope, bring your telescope, bring your a scalpel, and whatever else you're going to need, your petri dishes, whatever you're going to need, and we're going to figure out whether we can do so. Okay? So if you think that they can be proven via the modern empirical scientific method, let me get some time.
What we got next?
Let's see what we got.
Have you encountered the Aboriginal community claiming Black Americans as the true Native Americans? What were your experiences, if you have, if any, with them? You know, I'm not active enough on YouTube to have any of those, but I'm sure you are. So
yeah. So here's the thing. So I had a dude named Terrence. This dude named Terrence. He was like a police officer. His name is Terrence Mixon, and I'm posting his name because this is dude. And so here's what he did. He sent me all of these, right? And so you see this right here. You see Red Fox. This is part of his evidence, right? This is what he sent me. You see Queen Latifah next to the Native American fella there. This was actually factually his evidence that we were these people. My experience with them is, listen, these people, and I'm gonna just tell you something. As a larger sort of issue, Black folk were taught via the white supremacist model to hate Central and West Africa, to think they're unaccomplished and all this kind of stuff. So we don't focus on the kingdoms, any of the kings, the buildings, the trade, anything like that. So niggas want to be Native Americans, and so that's the Aboriginal community. They want to be Jews, that's the Black Hebrew Israelites, and they want to be the Egyptians, okay, which is the Kemetic people.
Yep.
And why? And it's because they want these people for their accomplishments. Now, me and Rocky, this is what I was talking about earlier. They want the status. And so even if this comes to inventing an entire past, this is what niggas want. And so they will latch onto any of these people, and largely because they are uneducated on the of Central and West Africa. They don't know of the complicated and complex trade that was going on with like places in West Africa, like the Byzantine Empire. They have no idea about the structure. So when you see these single level homes, these people have such ideas that where they basically think that we haven't accomplished anything because they're looking at these little grass huts that are dome or bell shaped. And they don't realize that the homes in West Africa are actually complex Byzantine structures that tell us that the West Africans were trading, had complex trade routes going over into the Byzantine Empire. They have no idea.
Yeah.
And so they shun the people of Central and West Africa and then latch on to ancient Kemet. They'll latch on to the Jews and take their history, or they'll claim to be Native Americans. And this is what you have with them. They'll take things like the Olmec heads, which are representatives of the people of Mexico, or people today in Mexico, the Tabasco region, of Native American people from the Tabasco region. They're so uneducated that they think that because someone has dark skin, that this is something that's only prevalent among people who are descendants of African slaves, because they never took a geography class and seen a melanin map and seen that there's different color distributions based on diet, climate, distance from the equator, that kind of thing. So these people as well, it's been ridiculous. And there's a dude, he's a cop named Terrence Mixon. He's in somewhere like, I don't know, like Maryland or Florida. He's somewhere dumb. And this dude, like, he blocked me on Facebook because he was trying the same knowledge. He kept telling he's Native American. Now, I'm somebody, I have proven Native American ancestry, but I'm mostly a nigga, and these ain't the same.
Yeah.
So I'll just say that.
I mean, I went to school in Arizona. I went to school in Arizona to that extent, and I visited the the boys' homes. They have like museums for the boys' homes where they sent the Native Americans. And if you talk about education, if you just go to a museum and you're in an area with a lot of Native sites and you just see the shit like that was going on in the boys' homes, and if you just watch the news sometimes, they just dug up crazy bodies under Native American boys' homes, and I believe it was Canada. And that just goes to show you, I mean, you get to see the culture stripped away from a particular group of people, so you can't be them because you know what I'm saying. So
yeah.
anyway.
See, now David Jackson said these are David. I'm going to ask you a question. What do you know about either science or philosophy? Please drop your answer into the chat before I respond to this.
Gravity does depend on velocity. That's funny.
And he says velocity doesn't depend on science. Actually, it does. It actually depends a great deal. All of these things appeal. So look, gravity doesn't depend on philosophy. Velocity doesn't depend on philosophy.
Velocity does.
Actually, it does. Again, brother, I'm telling you, brother, you have to not know about any of the topics you're talking about. For example, if you don't believe that there's correspondence, truth, that I can know anything about gravity, it actually depends a great deal. And so, and again, I'm disagreeing with Brother Julius too. If I don't believe that I can interact with things, I can know these things, like it depends on your epistemology. Can I know? How can I know? It depends a great deal on philosophy. How can I know? What are the tools of knowledge? What are the tools of acquisition of knowledge? What's the object of discovery? These are philosophical concepts, brother. And unfortunately,
I mean, the question you ask yourself, in the first place, when you're thinking about gravity, that's philosophical. Like the whole. That's an interesting question. Velocity. Yeah. That's an interesting comment.
Yeah. Again, yes. So like epistemology, right? So like how can we know? This is a philosophical concept that science, like you cannot put epistemology, right, or like the methods of knowing. Scientists assume these things, and it's an example that I use all the time. There's actually a philosopher, John G. Kimeny, chair of philosophy, Department of Mathematics at Dartmouth University. He has a book where he talks about these specific issues, right? Where he looks at science in particular, philosopher, mathematician, that kind of thing, right? But these things really do depend on all of these things, right? So if I just take something simple, like 2 + 2 = 4, this is not anything that you can analyze under a microscope. The concept of 2, 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, these are philosophical concepts. We believe in mathematical realism, that numbers exist somewhere in the ether. This is a Platonic concept, that there's mathematical realism, that there's these numbers that exist out there in space. And then we use these things in science. Again, Brother David Jackson, with respect, I think you probably got to get more in depth on what on what these things teach. Moodall once told me that it ain't that I know what to think, but I know how to think. I, an Israelite, is college educated in history, linguistics, logic, religion, and anthropology. Okay, so excuse my typos.
I'm not sure when the quotations ended, so I don't know if he.
Yeah, I don't know either. But this is to you.
Rocky, keep laughing, but he would be stuck too. He can't defend himself. What comment did we skip?
Let me go back up. I didn't mean to skip none of your comments, brother. This is to you. I think this is it.
You can debate me too, or I'm not a big debater, but I mean, if the topic is worth it, we can talk about it.
Now, Rocky, now listen. I was on this show the other day. I watched you get washed by what's dude's name? Matter of
fact,
what's his name?
Man. I don't know. I think Takori.
Yeah. Now you got washed back here the other day, and even Craig said it, bro. And you're goofy too. Back chat.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, hey, it is what it is. If you want to have a discussion, we can have a discussion. That's cool.
Now, why you get watched by Takori though? Let's talk about that, because Takori, he watching. I saw him in the back chat, in Paradigm Shift TV back chat.
Yeah, he felt like he made a great point. I was just having a conversation for the sake of being contentious, because the show was kind of at that point where we were going to be on dead air. So gotta keep it lit, gotta keep it going.
Yeah. He watched you on Gravity, man. I just we saw it. Everybody saw it, bro. So I just
yes, sir.
Yeah. So now, so here's the thing, though, brother. You say what I'm saying is science exists whether theories are proven or not. Again, I just want to say as a philosopher. That's absolutely not true. Modern empirical science is based on a particular philosophy of Francis Bacon and Rene Descartes. What you're looking at right now, and again, this is not contentious in the field of science. It just isn't. These are based on the philosophical foundations, Francis Bacon and Rene Descartes. One of the things that's with these two particular ideologies, these two Christians, the thinking of these two Christians is that you don't need to search for any sort of ultimate meaning in these sorts of things. Nothing like on sort of the God level that is only going to deal with what is empirical, what can be viewed by the five senses. Modern empirical science is itself is very recent, last 500 years, a little over 500 years now. Yeah, actually it's 502 years. And it's based on a particular school of philosophy. That's just a fact. There's no questioning that. That's a fact, 100% fact. Thoughts on Dane Calloway? Any thoughts on Dane Calloway, Brother Rocky?
Wild, out of his mind, plagiarist.
So I don't know who Dane Calloway is. I went in. Oh, wait. I think the nigga here who dropped his book. I Googled Doggy Bone just now. I encountered this Negro in a back chat, and he dropped this picture. Hang on, let me put the picture up. Hang on, let me put this up right here. Doggy Bone dropped this photo here. Wait, there you go. In this book, talking about his book and stuff like that on stuff. Listen, this dude right here was absolutely insane. And then I downloaded his book, and it was just crazy. Talking about Black Americans, Native Americans. I actually encountered this dude right here, and it was insane. Book insane and ridiculous. And again, I gotta stop doing this thing because I'm petty. So somebody gonna get to make me claims talk about sending this book and stuff like that. I actually don't buy the book. I buy the book. I did it to Chris Harris on here when he was talking about John G. Jackson. He was saying that the Bible used to be called Helios Biblos. Nigga was lying and admitted he was lying because he was on video. And I said, I just bought the book. Tell me what page it's on. But this dude right here did the same thing, and it was ridiculous. This dude right here was talking about being a scholar, all kind of stuff, all cap, every bit of it cap, education cap, all of it.
Yeah, he said Harriet Tubman didn't exist, bro.
Bro, you lying.
He said Harriet Tubman was. He said Harriet Tubman was made up, bro.
As a matter of fact, I read something. It was something similar. It was something else like that. I think he was saying that slavery didn't happen. It was some.
Yeah, he said that slavery happened in reverse.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that's what it was. It was that it was a slavery happened in reverse. So I remember. So the image for the book was different. It was like white slave masters. White slaves and black slave masters. And he was actually arguing that it was the reverse that happened. That's the book that I bought. It was that ridiculous one right there.
Bought that book?
Listen, I bought it as a Kindle book. That nigga right there, lying and carrying on.
That's crazy.
Yasha said, "I'm only telling you all the things to comment. It's like far from dumb.
That's cool.
Read this one right here for me, Rocky. What you think?
Abros, Hebrew Israelites, and all other identity thieves give white folks the ultimate clapback when we accuse whites of cultural appropriation. I think that's my man 93, by the way. I think that was very 93 of him. That was funny. That was funny. Yeah, I think we're on par with their culture. We're on par with their box braid behavior. You understand me?
Hey, I'm using that. That's box braid behavior. Listen, check it. 93 TV. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I agree 100%. The British Hebrew Israelites came before the Black Hebrew Israelites. They have the same sort of interpretive methodology. They believe that they're Hebrews for all of the very same reason. You should see their interpretive methodology. They actually still have a group that exists to this day. You can actually watch some of their services, their church services on YouTube right now.
The British Hebrew Israelites?
British Hebrew Israelites still exist today. They came before the Black Hebrew Israelites. This is before William Saunders Crowdy, and they still exist today, still believing that they are true Israel, and then they're going to use this interpretive methodology to show so. And again, it's not historic. Jewish or Hebrew methodology of interpreting the text, but they believe right now today. There's entire documentaries done on these people, but they're over in Britain. But they had this idea first, and so not only are the whites culturally appropriating the Jews in that instance, but you got niggas appropriating the whites who are appropriating the Jews.
That's crazy.
And look, and he ain't lying. Look, check this out. They actually also they have a 12 tribes chart as well. This
that's interesting.
100% a fact. Again, you go on YouTube right now. Look at British Israelism. This is a well-documented thing. They published entire books proving, see the air quotes, proving their case. Brother, you still in Georgia, but you ain't, you know what I'm saying, you ain't burning no more, bro. Turn your camera on now. I just look crazy on there talking to myself.
You're not talking to yourself.
Bro, listen, bro, this is a light-skinned collab tonight, bro. We doing
a yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So but listen, by the way, brother, I like the style of the home you live in, bro. Listen, I don't mean to, you know what I'm saying, be a weirdo, bro, but listen, man, that's the style of houses I like, right? I can tell by the beam going across, bro. Listen, that shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? That's a nice house. Hey, Rocky Rich, y'all. I know he'd head his department now. Let's see.
From the K. I don't know what KOI means. That's interesting. What does KOI mean? Kingdom of Yasha?
Listen, let me tell you something, Trey. Let me tell you something about Georgia. Y'all backwards. I'm leaving it at that. California love. West Side.
Hey, Georgia's the best state out there, man. You understand me?
Damona has a lot of Hebrews who left from Chicago. Ben Ami followers. And he says he's Kingdom of Yah. That's what it means.
Oh, I've never heard of that kingdom. I don't know what that is. That's pretty cool though. That's pretty cool.
Rocky, I'm about to remove you from the thing. Rocky. Rocky, I'm about to move you. Hey, can I just ask you a question on the topic of education?
Yes, sir.
Why you get on the thing and dude who had the 2 fake degrees from Universal Life Church in metaphysics and theology? Why you get on the thing and do them like that, man? Why you do that?
You know what's crazy? When I tell you I don't recall, I'm not capping. I think I know who you talking about, but I don't remember doing nobody dirty like that. I must have been feeling some type of way to do that.
I'm petty, so I'm just gonna say Kansu had the 2 fake degrees. He came on.
Okay, yeah.
You said, nigga with the 2 fake degrees.
Yeah. You're right.
Why you do that? Why'd you just do that just now?
Because you know what? We're Facebook friends, and he was killing me because he was reposting the what's the dude that was supposed to levitate in jail? What's the man? He was building pyramids. It was a cult. He was building pyramids here in Atlanta. I can't think of his name. But he told people he was levitating in jail. He was supposed to. What's Nuwapians? He was posting a lot. Yeah. I can't think of the dude's name, but he was posting a lot of stuff about him, and you know what he got convicted for. So the way he was talking about, I'm like, oh, so that's who you really look up to. So made me feel some type of way. So I had to reach inside my bag. I did not need to do you like that. I apologize. I shouldn't have stepped out like that. I was wrong for that.
Okay, so look, it was Dr. York.
Yeah. He was posting stuff about him. Yeah.
Now wait. Now let's check it.
He was calling him father and all type of Welsh.
Bro, I'm about to remove you from how I remove Rocky because he's like, hey, all right, look. Hey, wait. Yasha. Brother Yasha, listen, I need to talk to you about this one right here because listen, let me tell you something. I was the first to expose Garfield fake degrees assigned in the list. Let me tell you something, bro. I'm gonna put it like this. Chris Harrison, not Chris Harrison. Chris Harrison come up later, but look, let me check it. Garfield and I had a debate on the historicity of Abraham. Garfield the very next day came and asked me to come on his thing talking about the historicity of Jesus. The problem was I used the same methodology to establish history of both characters. So when Chris Harris heard the second discussion, where Garfield was basically saying that Jesus was a historical figure, Chris Harris went on live and basically said that he supported Garfield even though he had fake degrees. Now I don't know anything about this.
See,
I just know
I don't think my brother. That's my brother right there. I don't think he has any fake degrees, but he's also not a person that taunts his degrees. You know what I'm saying? I
so.
seen the
So you
graduation
gotta
pic.
tell me. You gotta tell me
What
why your boy Chris Harris say that, man. Why he say that?
they got some they you know I don't want it's some personal stuff they got going. I don't really know the details, but they really dislike each other.
Okay, so,
So I can't, you know what I
brother
mean?
Yasha, brother Yasha. Now check it. Now, brother Rocky. Listen, I like Garfield. I really do. He knows I like him, right? So cool dude, right? I wish I had a Jamaican accent. I really, really do. Brother Yasha, why? Now, brother Yasha, why did you say Rocky ain't in this? This is just me. Rocky ain't in this. This is just me. Why you say the brother got a fake degrees, brother Yasha? Why you say that? This ain't Rocky. This is me. Rocky, if you say something, I'm gonna mute you. Don't say nothing. I don't have to mute you. You ain't in this. Okay? You ain't involved. This is me. I'm asking for the smoke. I just want to know why you say you got a fake degree. I just want to know why you said it. Look, he said it again.
I'm interested in why he says that though. If he gonna say it,
Rocky, stay out of this. This is just me. This me. Okay. Listen, I like Garfield, right? But I need to know why he say that. Now, he say, so David Jackson, before 500 years, however recent you say, science didn't exist. For Francis Bacon, there was no science. No. Actually, brother David Jackson, this is to my point. There's a different philosophical school of science and what science does, what it's supposed to examine, what it's supposed to do, what it can measure prior to Francis Bacon and Rene Descartes. That's a fact. This is 100% a fact. There was a completely different form of science prior to. For example, if you go back to, I don't know, the temples of Asclepius, they had a particular form of science, but it wasn't modern empirical science. Modern empirical science, MES, has a specific start date with Francis Bacon and Rene Descartes. This is not what I'm saying. This is a fact. Hang on, wait a second. This your man's right here, Rocky. Read this comment, please. What did it say?
Garfield has authentic degree deodorant. 93 funny, man. 93 funny as
hell. I guess the law of physics only exists for 5 years. So, no, brother David Jackson.
That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. So listen, this is what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna start ignoring your comments because I feel like it's going over your head, bro. So I don't want to do that to you. I'm gonna get some crayons. We're gonna do a different presentation for you so you can keep up. All right.
None of that. I mean, it sounds really personal, Yasha.
Brother Yasha, I gotta tell you, you're letting me down right now.
Yeah, it. I think you should.
I just want to know why you think it's fake. Because listen, you can have a real degree and then say some nonsense. Logically, you can do that. Okay, hang on. Let's see. So I think it's why won't he post or tell the school? He knows when he do. I'm calling human resources. Now I got to go back and watch the Chris Harris video. But he said that he had a fake degree from somewhere. I can't recall what he said, but he said it was fake, and he said he supported the fake degree. Now let me tell you something. I'm gonna put this out there. I like Garfield, so what I'm gonna do is right here in this situation, I'm gonna give Garfield the benefit of the doubt because I know that when Chris Harris said it, Chris Harris is a major liar.
Yeah, that's somebody you should not.
Yeah. So for credibility of the witness sake alone, I can't give any weight to that testimony when Chris Harris said it because again, it was just a lie. Nigga lied and said all kind of stuff, and I'm talking about just I'm never gonna take his claim seriously. I just know that he said it after the thing. He was so upset that Garfield said that Jesus Christ was a historical character, that was a historical figure who actually lived, that he came in and said, I supported him even though he had a fake degree.
He had a physical reaction to him saying Jesus Christ was a historical figure.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I was on here with Chris Harris, who I've heard, just for clarity, I've heard Chris Harris has a fake master's degree. So I'm gonna keep it a buck. I heard it more than once from more than one person that his degrees are fake and he's a dock worker, not an engineer, like he said. Now, I'm just telling
you.
Ain't
nothing wrong with being a dock worker. Let's just clear that before we continue. That's just
if it is absolutely 100% nothing wrong with being a dock worker.
If he is, I just want to get that out the way.
Listen, if that's what you're doing to support and feed your family, bro, 100%, I really support you, and there is no slight. 100%. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Do that. Whatever you got to do. If it's McDonald's, if it's you doing something that's legally, you above ground, you feed and provide, take care of your family, something that's gonna keep you out here. I 100% agree with Rocky. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. I do think there's something wrong with pretending to have a degree. Now, and for the same reason that Chris Harris said that about Garfield, Chris Harris, if you got fake degrees, now my transcripts, I'm so petty. I put my transcripts up online in a video, and anybody can see it. It's right here on Paradigm Shift TV 314. You can see my stuff because I'm very petty, and I wanted y'all to see that I was a magna cum laude graduate. That's the tassels and the honors and all. You see, it's multiple of them back there.
Yeah, I see you set it up. Yeah.
So I'm very petty like that. So I put mine up. You can't call the colleges, and they're gonna tell you I was a student, all that kind of stuff. So I just want to say, it is a problem though if you fake it. Now, there you go. What does it say? Garfield lied on Soundnetter saying he has 3 degrees in history. I studied in over 3 schools. None of taught history like he do. Period. I post my now. I tell you what. Here's what I will say, Brother Rocky. Garfield's your dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say now when we did our debate, and we didn't even get into this because I'm gonna keep it a buck. The format of the debate changed about 4 times right prior to us actually going live for the debate, up to and including. Couple minutes into the debate, he changed the format, so I didn't have all the time I wanted to. For example, I will say that when we got to the subject of eponymous ancestors, I did want to point out and tell Garfield, when you're talking about an eponymous ancestor, if you go into Greek history, and he said, "Oh, eponymous ancestor," that means that they didn't exist. That's not historical. It just factually isn't, and especially like when you get into Greek history, an eponymous archon, those eponymous ancestors of the Greeks, that was a real factual person. They just had multiple archons, one of which was the eponymous archon, which just means the in name, right? Eponymous, right? So that person was you invoked his name as part of your date keeping methodology. And I will say that was one of the strangest things that I'd ever heard. That because the person is eponymous, that means that they didn't exist. That was a historical blunder. But don't comment, Rocky, because this is me. I'm asking for the smoke. This is me. If you say so, you start talking, I'm gonna mute you. This don't do it. But I will say that was strange, and also his use of historical criteria also strange. But look at it. Now, but Brother Yasha, I'm gonna have a question for you, bro. Why would I call the school's human resources? Wouldn't I call the registrar's office? Human resources deals with the human resources, meaning the people who are employees who work there.
No need to explain it. I mean,
never mind. All right, Rocky said to skip it. I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna skip the question because I'm confused.
Because he ain't even got to do. He was capping about his degree too. He ain't just go ahead. Y'all should have been out of school.
I smashed Garfield so many pause. I smashed Garfield so many times. Pause before you did. I did not. In fact, you killed him with many of my talking points. He's highly fallacious. And what do you think of this one? I think that's a reference to this one.
You can do both.
You can do both. Call human resources and the registrars. What do you think, Rocky?
I've never heard of anyone calling human resources to validate a degree.
Not calling human resources after college, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've never personally heard of it, but I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna just say multiple universities. I ain't never heard of it. I mean, multiple universities. I ain't never heard of it. But Brother Yasha, a little older than me, he was going to school in an earlier time.
Oh, that's a fact. He is a little. Yeah, that's a fact. He is a little older. So
different time
it was probably all one department in the 1820s.
Now watch this. B Wash, I say it every time, and he know. Now, B Wash, I'm gonna tell you like this, B Wash. I say it every time. B Wash, he enters the room. 99% of the time, he's gonna be the most educated Negro in the room. Harvard fellow. I've seen, I don't know, maybe 120 pieces of paper with this dude's name on it. Multiple certificates, certifications, degrees, that kind of stuff. This dude right here, listen, don't challenge B Wash. I promise you don't want to do it. So, most educated dude who enters the room, and I've said it every time. He just is. And matter of fact, hey, B Wash, remember that time I called you the most educated person in the room and somebody said that I said I was the most educated person in the room? Like, nah, that ain't what I said. This nigga, Byron Washington, the most educated Negro into the room. Matter of fact, just completed some studies in ancient African Christianity. Not a dude. I'm talking about like, but this like he constantly knocking stuff out. This ain't a dude you really want to contend with. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Brother Rocky. Why do you think it's important to be educated in the Black community? You got anything you was like what why is it why is it important, brother? Tell me what you think, man.
I think you see a direct correlation between education and financial success. You see a direct correlation between education and community standards, and you see a direct correlation between education and crime, right? To put it simply and bluntly, the people that are the people that at minimum graduate high school are less likely than someone that drops out of high school, right, to commit a crime, right? The people that graduate high school are more likely to make more money than the person that dropped out of high school. And even if we go beyond and we go to college, then that just grows exponentially, the difference between the two. So I think those are the most important reasons why education is important in the Black community. But even beyond that, just the historical significance of it, right? We were talking before, I believe we weren't online, and I was talking about Booker T. Washington and him sleeping under bridges when it was raining and describing something similar to like what I would call runoff trenches on the side of the street, right, as a child to make it to the boys' school just to get an education. Or what Frederick Douglass did to and how he learned how to read, right? So our ancestors literally died for knowing how to read and for having the intellectual curiosity to want to read, right? So when you say something like educated Black people are the biggest problem for Black people, I think that's like the most ridiculous thing, because you're kind of spitting on what thousands of probably, okay, not thousands, maybe hundreds of Black people's died for, right? Just the ability to go to college, just the ability to go to school, just the ability to read and write. It was against the law for us to read and write.
So Rocket, so I just want to ask you a question. So if educated Black people are our biggest problem, wouldn't it be kind of like a good thing if the white supremacists and the slave masters were trying to keep us out of school? Wouldn't that be a good thing?
Of course. Of course.
So because
they would have no reason to keep us out of school.
Yes. So it seems
like these niggas.
Yeah. So it's like they should be pushing us that way, because like, hey man, they ain't gonna do nothing but like screw themselves up because of that sort of thing, right? And when Frederick Douglass asked the question, what should we do with the Negro? Like it should have been, hey, like when he was talking to people interfering with Black progress, stopping our education or working, that sort of thing, like he should have been like, hey, you know what I mean? Like we need to not be joining schools, but we should be praising the people who stood outside when Brown v. Board of Education was passed, and harassed and pelted schoolgirls with rocks to keep them from out of schools. We should be praising these people because they were doing something good. Because education wasn't going to do anything except for disable us. It's going to cripple us. It's going to keep us out of the situations where we needed to be. It was going to retard our progress. We should be happy about these sorts of things. If that premise is true, that education is a problem, like, hey man, listen, like, even if we don't agree with their methods, it still was a good thing that the white slave masters, or that the white supremacists in the Jim Crow era, or people today who are trying to keep, like we should be happy that they were trying to keep us out of education, because that's a negative, right? Like, so that's what it seems to me. I had that impression when he was talking about that educated black people being our biggest problem. Well, then they were doing something good then when they were trying to keep us out of school. When they were trying to keep niggas out of school, that was something to celebrate.
Yeah. And that's the biggest point here. Like I think that's like the biggest thing here is like, so whole time shit, they should have, why niggas even wanted to learn how to read?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like
why Phyllis Wheatley ever pick up a pen?
Hey, listen, man, we got to figure out like, so why was, why was anybody? Why was Booker T. Washington? Why was he trying to learn to read? You know what I'm saying? Why was he going back for it in writing and things like that? With several of his contemporaries, like why was this stuff going on? Why was W.B. Du Bois responding to Booker T. Washington? Like why were they both trained in New England schools? Like these people, we see these educated people generally we see these people as ops. You're an educated person, you got a degree. Hey, listen, man, you an op, bro. Like you from the outside. We need to view these people as rapists, robbers, like worse than snitches. Like these people, they're the biggest ops. You got an education, you the problem. We need to stop these people from going to get an education, because that's the problem. Educated black people are our biggest problem. So just don't get an education. And I'm still waiting to see the list of cities and places started by uneducated niggas. I'm still waiting to get that list from Dog, but I still ain't got it yet. But I'm waiting though.
Yeah.
Let's see. You didn't beat Garfield in that debate. Okay. So Brother Pope, I just want to tell you this now. This is Rocky's dude. Rocky ain't allowed to comment. If you comment, I'm a muter. But I just want to say this. The same methodology I used to establish the historicity of Abraham as a historical figure, Garfield invited me in his show the very next day. I used that same exact criteria, which Garfield agreed with, to establish the historicity of Jesus. In logic, we call that special pleading. So you might say that I didn't win. I'm gonna just tell you, it is what it is. So if I use the same criteria to establish the historicity of two historical figures, both of which fit that exact criteria, I'm sorry, you're entitled to your opinion though. I'm an American. I do not believe though that people are allowed, that everybody should have an opportunity to be on the internet. But if you want to say your ridiculous opinion, cheers to you.
There should be a block, like on some of the share buttons, like before they can press post. It should be like,
listen, just like
it should be a quiz, like you got to answer these 3 questions right.
So like remember, like say they used to have the old school poll tax stuff to try to keep like black people from voting. So I just want to keep stupid people from sharing opinions online. Before you share this right here, answer a basic math question.
And I want to say this too.
Spell science.
It's okay to not like. There is no way, right? There is no way that when it was time for vaccines or whatever, however you feel about it, but there is no way that you are.
I'm vaccinated.
You can speak Hebrew. I mean, that's besides this point. But there's no way you can speak Hebrew, right? You're a Hebrew Israelite. You're educated enough in virology to tell me about what I need to do and how viruses work. And you also know about the planet and how the cosmology works. There's no way you're an expert in all of these things, right? There's no way you're expert mathematician and you just know everything. And you just know everything about religious history in regards to the Bible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm saying like, when it comes to the wild stuff we put on Facebook and the wild stuff we got on the internet, like when you get into these places, like when you look at the Egyptologists and stuff like that, man, they specialize in niche positions.
Hey, listen, hey, look, hey. So you just said something right there, right? See, because that's the thing. That's the thing, right? Dr. Michael Heiser, before he passed, it was a video, and Byron posted it one time, right? But Dr. Michael Heiser asked the question. He says, "Did you publish this opinion or this whatever it is you're saying? Just publish only online? Do you know what happens if you have to give something you wrote, some opinion you have, to an expert in the subject, someone who studied this longer than you? You know what happens?" And that's so one. There's a biblical sort of thing, right, where iron sharpens iron, right, where you have like someone who comes along who's made the same pitfall, studied the same stuff, studied it for longer than you. there's something that happens in that environment. This is what education does for you. You can't just make claims in a vacuum. So you can't be someone making claims like in a microbiology course, right, and turn in a paper on vaccines and give this to someone who has, who's an expert in virology, right, or immunology. Because then they're going to come back and say, hey, have you thought about this? Hey, well, you didn't account for this. So what about this scientific issue right here? Doesn't matter what the issue is. So you're going to have an expert who responds. That's why education is important. Because even if you don't agree, like, hey, I should sign up and go to school, like whatever it is, like if you're a mechanic, if you're an HVAC tech, whatever it is, you're going to learn things. And then if somebody from the outside who doesn't have the specialized knowledge comes in and makes certain claims, you're like, I'm sorry, that's actually not. No, maybe we should meet at that. And even if you don't go get a formal education, have you read from experts on the topic? You don't even need to like. I think that everybody should go sign up for them some college, some graduate school, postgraduate education. Go do all that stuff. I love it. Go do all that stuff. But even if you decide not to, right? Are you reading people who have knowledge of the subject matter? I'm not talking about just like now. The irony is we're on YouTube. Right. But I'm not talking about YouTube videos by people who have no business talking to you. But are you at least going to go see what people who have studied this stuff a decade, 2 decades, 3, 4 decades, like who have like a breadth and depth of knowledge?
Yeah.
You're going to see what they say about the topic. Have you grabbed books by experts on the topic? If not, then please caution yourself because their lives at risk. Hey, Brother Rocky, can I give an example? I don't mean to be long-winded. Can I give an example real quick?
Sure.
I had a relative of mine. I kid you not. This is real. I had a relative of mine going through cancer, cervical cancer.
I hate to hear that.
And yeah, so appreciate that. So I had a relative of mine going through cervical cancer, and was scheduled to go see an oncologist. I have another relative of mine who's related to the son of the other relative. And the male relative of the female relative who had the cervical cancer basically presented this woman, who's his mother, with loads and loads of Dr. Sebi information and information from other people who were teaching against Western medicine just as a whole. And basically, the person was arguing is that if you get back to an indigenous diet, that the cancer will just cure itself, as if niggas in these countries don't die of cancer. As if juices and berries and that sort of thing, they just don't die of none of this kind of stuff. And so
he said only natural fruits and berries. What you put in your hair? Only natural fruits.
This is just juices and berries. So the problem is that like if the lady that I'm talking about had adhered to the advice of her son who was giving her this information, she will be dead. She's alive. Like she just hit her 6th anniversary of defeating cancer because she went with the learned, educated doctors who spent like 14 years just in their PhD program studying this particular phenomenon. And so that's a real thing where it's real rubber meets the road kind of stuff. You just start taking people's opinion. Like now watch this. All the Sebiites out there, I'm going to tell you, and I don't know if Rocky, I don't know if you're a Sebiite, but I'm going to tell you this. That was complete and utter nonsense.
Man, listen, you got to have, listen, you got to be fully alkaline for you got to be, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
you got to be.
The Negro told people to drink pee to cure blindness. And he said,
the craziest shit ever.
He said, do you drink pee? Look it. Let's think of the way the digestive system works. You drink it in your mouth, it goes down this way right there. It's the digestive system. He talked about when you drink pee, he said the inflammation, he said he was blind and then it broke down in the mucus and inflammation and it went down. And so his sight was cleared. Now he has perfect 20/20 vision now as a result of drinking piss to cure his blindness. So they were trying to pitch this idea to this lady in my family. And that had real world consequences, bro. Like it's a real thing. People died.
Yes.
Yeah. So look. He says, Byron.
Sonetta himself. He talks about it all the time.
Yeah. I know. And this is where I was upset with Sonetta. And that's why I told DMG. And I'm on DMG. Respect to your channel. And DMG loves Sonetta. I'm saying because I'm the nigga who's hosting. Right. I got the panel. Right? That's my opinion, not DMG's, not the opinion of Paradigm Shift TV 314. I was upset. I'm keeping it a buck. I dislike Sa Neter. Like I dislike his channel, not as a person. I dislike his channel. I dislike his opinions. I dislike the nonsense he says. But like when he's talking about the vaccine stuff, like niggas were dying at disproportionate rates because of because of COVID. It just is what it is. We live in closer knit communities, like and we do far more get-togethers. Niggas was dying, so I was upset with the opinions over the COVID vaccine. Like nigga, that's retarded. Talk about turning people gay and all kind of not like bro. Like what are we talking about, bro? So like real world
education,
real world consequence with this lack of education and people on here talking and people should accept as authorities on topics and they don't know, bro. So it's like don't do it.
We're talking about this. We're talking about the same group that said 5G could be causing corona.
Bro,
they forgot about that. Look, bro, they forgot about that.
Bro, listen, it's like 5G, the signal is gonna cause coronavirus. And you're like, bro, so like education is important. Like again, education can be life-saving, bro. Like this is not a joke. Like it might save your life because you know that because like watch this now. This is off the dome, right? Because somebody might come and tell you that the vaccine is gene therapy, and you might say, cool. You might be against the vaccine for any number of reasons, but to come in and say that it's going to affect your DNA, you say, cool, bro. Did you take intro biology, bro? Because unless it's going to penetrate the nucleolus, which is where DNA and RNA are produced, in the nucleolus, not the nucleus, the nucleolus, then how is it affecting your DNA? How is it gene therapy? If it doesn't penetrate the nucleolus, how is it, period, point blank, full stop, going to affect your DNA? It's a basic educational issue. Education is life.
Education is key. If you pay attention in 7th grade biology, at least, that'll help you out with the vaccine. If you just go back to your notes from 7th grade, that'll help you out with the, vaccine.
Rocky, stop. Hey, listen, Rocky, stop it, man. Hey, listen, you being rude. Hey, look, he's like, Byron, see, that's why, it's funny when they think GMOs are lab-grown food or that seedless fruits aren't natural. I'd be like, what's now again? Now watch this. I watched an old black farmer say, he said, no, like he talked about how they breeds a seedless watermelon. And like this is not like this can occur naturally. What are you talking about? You might have a hummingbird or a butterfly or a bumblebee, something come over and pollinate this something over, and you create a seedless watermelon. And it's like, but again, it's just the basic stuff. Education can really save your life. Now watch this. Now I'm gonna give an example. It's not about college education, but just education just in general, right? I kid you not. What was the day? So watch this. December 3rd. No. December 2nd. December 2nd. I kid you not. Right here in the city of Fresno. I had 2 homeboys shot. 2 homeboys shot right here in the city of Fresno. 4 people total, according to the news. 4 people total shot. And 2 of them is my boys. Like my brothers. Like my brothers real from the streets, was shot. One of them was able to save his brother's life via the use of an education that he got in CPR. He saved his brother's life. Both him and his brother were shot. While my bro was shot, bleeding out, he resuscitated his brother and brought his brother back to life twice. Now that's a small scale sort of example, right? Because CPR, that's an education, though. Education CPR, you get a certificate and everything from it because you learn that particular method of life-saving, you know what I'm saying, a life-saving tool. So, but it can really save your life. Education in the black, like, it's important. Like, let's say a revolution kicked off tomorrow. But nigga, if you don't know how to plant and grow any fruits or vegetables,
if you can't read a map,
you can't read a map.
You can't even read a map,
bro. You don't know. It's never eat soggy waffles. So you're north, east, south, and west. You don't know never eat soggy waffles. How you gonna navigate your people, bro? You can't look at a map and see when it's giving you elevation. What you talking about, bro? You can't read a key at the bottom of the map. Education is important, black people. It just is. It's just a fact. Please.
Education is the key to freedom.
Hey, bro, you remember that song? It came out. It was like wait a second, bro. Listen, it was like it gave you like the put you in the mind. Oh, matter of fact, Rocky, I forgot. You're a little younger.
What song?
Hang on, let me see.
He finna put out some shit from the 1800s.
God. hey, watch this, bro. Look, like this is all factual, all right? Look, watch this. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Now watch. Hopefully we can hear this right. But look, when this dropped right here, bro, I was like enamored. As a matter of fact, I don't want to play it to get him a strike. I don't want to get the brother a strike. But the song is called "Read a Book." Go, listen. It's like read a book. Read a book. So and then he say, buy some land, man. Like forget some spinning rims. Oh, wait a second. Let's see what the most educated room is talking about. It says education, the neighborhood mechanic versus an actual mechanic. How long do you think that fixed transmission gonna last for 6-pack and cool shorts? Go to an actual learned certified mechanic. Hey, see, Byron, that's what I'm talking about, bro. So this is why. So like in the hood, you go to them shade tree mechanics, bro. Your whole engine might fall out tomorrow. Now it might get you up the road. You might last for a little bit of while, right? But Doggy Bone with the cigarette sitting at the end of his lip, he ain't really got an education.
The alternator.
Hey, it's alternator. Tire flat, it's the alternator. Everything the alternator. So I feel like education, bro, it's so important. And again, I'm not even talking like, listen, if you don't go enroll in a college, a university, right? You ain't in graduate or post-grad school, like that's fine. But can you please read a book? Can you just do that for me? Can you please read a book? Can you find a book written by somebody who has earned their spot? And then read that. Can you do that for me? Black people? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Rocky, I don't know what you got on the topic, man. I'd have been long-winded, man. What you got, man?
I think at this point is read a book. Don't cap. Be who you are. I think we covered a wide variety of topics tonight. Education doesn't just come in the form of degrees. Education doesn't just come in the form of certifications. Education can come on the form of just Googling how do I mount a TV on the wall, right?
Bro.
So one of the best quotes I've read, I forgot who, I think it was actually by the dude the Rastas pray to. He got a quote that says, "The man who says I have learned enough and will stop learning knows nothing at all."
Hey, I just want to take a quick plug right here. This is why so I call myself a philosopher, but I'm not like Neil X with a culinary arts degree calling himself a philosopher. Not like her. But really, this is why I like philosophy, and this is why I consider myself a philosopher, not just because of the degree, but because it is a constant acquisition of knowledge. I want to learn about every topic there is. I want to learn about all topics, bro. I've taken I've taken construction courses.
Yeah.
Courses in contemporary mathematics, learn about algorithms, bro. Like, bro, you name it. It's a wide variety of topics, stuff that I've studied. Learn any and everything that you possibly can. Education is important. And and I just want to say this too. There is a large, I think, attitude, before we wrap up, attitude of anti-intellectualism in the Black community. And even within the church, and this has been historic, I think, in the church, where there's an anti-intellectual attitude that I think we really, really, really need to get away from. Do not be afraid to go learn and acquire and learn something new. Just don't be afraid of it. Go learn something new. It's information. Listen, you're gonna learn and figure out how the world works. There's nothing out there. Listen, go figure out how stuff works. I do not think that you will be. Wait a second. Byron sound like me. He said, I'm a level 2 certified painter, fam. Gotta learn. Listen, I kid you not. Rocky, I'm gonna tell you something, right? I bought my house. The house that I'm in right now, I bought this house in 2018, right? a couple months after being in the house, we had a flood, bro. We had a flood. My house is 3 levels. Rich flex, you know what I'm saying? But
I feel it. I feel it. Okay, you balling.
levels. But out front, the spout, I don't know, it burst. The little spout where you tie your water hose to, right? It burst.
Yeah, yeah.
Water flowed and went right down to the 3rd level, to the 1st level of my house down there, right? The 1st level of my house. I couldn't get a contractor to come out here. Now I'm handy, I can do stuff with my hands, but I couldn't really do the sort of stuff that was necessary. So I had to replace drywall. The floor that was down there, I had to rip up because it was it was the little click and lock.
LVT.
Yeah. So it was that stuff down there. So, bro, I'm trying to get a contractor out of it. So my insurance gave me a portion of money, but I couldn't get a contractor to come take it because in California we got wildfires. So they had big money going on. It's the summertime, so they had big money going on with the wildfires, repairing and rebuilding homes. So nobody wanted to take my money, bro. I went ahead and took construction courses to learn how to do the stuff myself, bro. And I thought 30% of my home was unusable because drywall had been ripped off, floor was gone, walls was missing, bro, all kind of stuff. And I went to construction courses to figure out how to do this stuff myself, bro. I went down there, laid tile, did drywall, added sinks, toilets, did all that kind of stuff through construction courses, bro. It'll save your life. So see, and then look, and then Byron, let me tell you something.
Crown molding.
now listen, let me tell you something. Yeah, see, because that crown molding, that's something. See, but Byron, see, this is inside because Byron, he was in his kitchen one day. We was on a little back chat video call, and the brother had like the high end level crown molding, to pop out like this way. You know what I'm saying? It's at an angle like this. I said, Byron, bro, you got some real money, bro. That's some expensive crown molding you got up there, bro. And he did. And so Byron, the rich dude, so that you know what I'm saying, you can when you
he got this personal crown molding, bro. He picked that design out.
Yeah. He went there, picked it out, bro. He was never paying. He's like, nah, I don't like that one. Like, I want to try.
Yeah, flip it. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So shout out to Byron for for having a bag, bro. But listen, bro, I don't know, bro. You got anything else, man?
Nah, I think I think it's a wrap, man. I think we do it like a Christmas gift when we say it's a wrap.
Brother Rocket, hey, listen, man, I just want to say this before we jump off. Listen, man, we was beefing a while ago, man. And I just want to tell you, man, listen, man, I'm glad to have sat down here, man, and been able to do this with you, man. So shout out to you, man, for your level of maturity, and I'm saying, and forgiving me. I'm saying for our overstep and things like that in the past. I appreciate you, brother, man, and thank you for sitting down and having a discussion with me, bro. It means the world to me, man. 2 light-skinned bros linking up, man. We're doing this against dark-skinned dudes, man. It means the world, bro.
Yes, sir. Same to you. Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, man. Shout out to DMG, the poet. Shout out to Jacobus Trust and Believe the Gospel. Shout out to everybody watching, man. I'm glad y'all watched. I said Drake and J. Cole. I'm Drake. He could be J. Cole. Okay, listen,
I'm cool with Cole.
Hey, listen. Hey, I want to wait for Michael. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say that.
The Spider-Man meme is me looking at Drake.
Now, hang on. Wait a second. Wait. First of all,
Andre and Xavier will be cool next.
No. Until he shows me what he added to his associate's degree, we will not. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know it was my dog that said he. That's like kids got it. Funny, man.
Hey, Trey, you're right about that, big dog. You're definitely right about that. But listen, man. Listen, me and Xavier, now. Hey, listen. I tell you what. Hey, wait. I'm approaching lights to get shot me out. 93 TV. Hey, listen, 93 TV.
93 light skin, man. He be trying to cap. 93 light skin. He in a light skin club.
Tap in with a real nigga. 93. Listen, man. Let's do some. Let's have a discussion, bro. Listen, I promise. Listen, I promise. Listen, I will tell you like this. So I be going off with people on this thing, right? But I promise you, people be doing stuff to me. They don't be saying it. They be doing stuff to me, and I be going off. So I would just tell you like that. But if y'all want to listen, if you want to chop it up, bro, I promise I'm cool. I can be chill. I'm good. So
it'll be a good conversation. It'll be especially about Hebrew Israelites. That's just like.
Hey, listen. Hey, bro, listen. Hey, tap in, bro. Listen, man. Listen, we're gonna put it together, bro. But listen, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. 93 TV seems cool. I don't know who this person is, but he says he's gonna definitely build with me. I appreciate you. And Rocky, listen, why don't you? I gave the intro. Why don't you close us out, bro? And a shout out to DMG, Paradigm Shift TV 314, the whole effing show, all of the whole everything. Close us out, brother Rocky, and then after that we're gonna be done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's just the end of the show. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Paradigm Shift TV for letting us come on and have this conversation today. I just want to do that continuation, but I think he closed it out enough. You know, I want to say appreciate everybody's time. You could have been anywhere in the world listening to anything else in the world, but you listened to us for about this 2 hours. So I appreciate y'all. And your boy is out. I'm finna knock the rest of these hot wings out, my man. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide up out of here.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, go ahead. And a matter of fact, hey, I gotta ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
This culture is part of your name on here, brother. What's the deal with that? Do black people have a culture?
We're gonna save that for the next episode.
All right, okay. Hey, next episode. hey, listen, man. Y'all have yourself a good night, man. Much love to all y'all.